Hello, this video is a basic understanding of Kabbalah. The wisdom of Kabbalah allows us to ask any question and experience the intimate, profound fulfillment that comes with answering the deepest questions to the fullest. This is why it is called the wisdom of the hidden. The will to receive the light and pleasure propels all of our actions, thoughts, and feelings. Kabbalah is a very practical science. The people who master it and wrote about it were just like you and me. They were seeking solutions to the same questions we all want to answer. Why are we born? What happens after we die? Why is there suffering? And can I experience lasting pleasure? And if so, how? And when they found the answers to these questions and implemented them in their own lives, they wrote it down so we may know them too. It explains such concepts as the next world, souls, reincarnation, and life and death. There are two directions to take in studying Kabbalah: from above downward to this world, and from below upwards. The first order is called the order of descent of the worlds, and the second order is called attainment or degrees. A person rewarded with it must follow the same trails and inlets and gradually attain each detail in each degree precisely by the same rules that were implemented in them upon their emanation from above downward. A revelation of the Creator does not appear at once, but gradually over the period of time until one discovers all the degrees from above downward. They come in an order of attainment, one after the other, and one above the other, as do rungs of a ladder called degrees or steps. The word attainment implies the ultimate degree of understanding. Kabbalists have found a way that enables them to converse with one another of the dealings in the spiritual roots in the upper worlds by merely mentioning the tangible branch in this world that is well defined to our corporeal senses. The lower is studied from the higher. Thus, one must first obtain the upper roots, the way they are in spirituality, above any imagination, but with pure attainment. And once he has thoroughly obtained the upper roots with his own mind, he may examine the tangible branches in this world and know how each branch relates to its roots in the upper world in all its orders. So, why did the Creator create creation? What was the purpose for it? It is certain that if the Creator has a purpose in this creation, its subject is man. It is said about him, all of the Lord's works are for him. The ascensions are like rungs of a ladder, arranged degree by degree until it is completed and achieves its purpose. The quality and quantity of these rungs is set in two realities. One, the existence of material substance, and two, the existence of spiritual concepts. In the language of Kabbalah, they are called from above downward and from below upward. These are the rungs of the ladder by which the human race develops and climbs up to the purpose of creation. The study of physical conduct is not enough. We need to study those things that produce the desirable intention. The Torah should be divided into degrees according to the measure of light that one can receive from studying it. When one ponders and contemplates words of Torah that pertains to the revelation of the Creator to our fathers, they bring the examiner more light than when examining practical matters. The worlds emerge from one another and are imprinted from one another like a seal and imprint. And all that is in one is in the other, down to the corporeal world, which is their last branch, but contains the world above it like an imprint or of a seal. There are 4 languages that are used in the studying of Kabbalah. 1, the language of the Bible. Its names and appellations, which is a name, a title, or a destination. Its disadvantage is that to emphasize the smallest detail, a complete story must be presented. This is why it is unfit for small details or for connections of cause and consequence. 2, the language of laws. This language is very close to the language of the Bible. The language of laws is not of reality, but of the existence of reality. This language is taken entirely from the language of the Bible. It has one advantage over the Bible. It greatly elaborates on every matter and hence points to the upper roots more accurately. Its great disadvantage compared to the language of the Bible is that it is very difficult to understand. This is the most difficult of all the languages. 3, the language of legends, which is very far from the Bible, since it has no consideration of reality. Strange names and appellations are attributed to this language, and also it does not relate to concepts by way of root and its branch. The language of legends is easy to understand through the allegories that perfectly fit the desired meaning. Yet, for a complete understanding, it is a very difficult language, since it does not confine itself to speaking in sequence of root and branch, but only in allegories and wit. And 4, the language of Kabbalists is a language in the full sense of the word, very precise, both concerning root and branch, and concerning cause and consequence. Also, through it is possible to approach the desired matter directly without the need to connect it with what precedes it or follows it. It is very difficult to obtain, almost impossible, except from a Kabbalist sage and from a wise one who understands with his own mind. The first sage hid the wisdom in writing, using lines, dots, tops, and bottoms. This is how the alphabet was formed with the 22 letters of the Hebrew language. In the first 3 languages, there is almost no meaning to a single word, allowing the examiner to understand what the word implies. Only by joining a few words, and sometimes issues, can their content and meaning be understood. The advantage in the language of Kabbalah is that each and every word in it discloses its content and meaning to the examiner and upper precision. Each word carries its own precise definition and cannot be replaced with another. All the worlds and the orders and the wisdom of Kabbalah itself are united under 10 realities. These are unbreakable laws that stem from one another and cascading from one another. I will talk more about that in later videos. There are things in the world that are real even though we have no perception of them, such as the magnet and electricity. We thoroughly know their actions, and we could not care less that we do not know their essence. The law of Kabbalah is all that we do not obtain, we do not name. Let me repeat that law again. The law of Kabbalah is all that we do not obtain, we do not name. Adam was the first to receive a sequence of sufficient knowledge by which to understand and to successfully maximize everything he saw and obtained with his eyes. The most successful way for one who wishes to learn the wisdom of Kabbalah is to search for a genuine Kabbalist and follow all his instructions until one is rewarded with understanding the wisdom in one's own mind. To understand the Creator, we must know that the Creator is absolutely good and would not bring sorrow to anyone. The eagerness to benefit ourselves make us harm our fellow persons due to our will to receive self-gratification. The Creator has no will to receive, but to give. And because of that, the Creator is devoid of a desire to harm anyone. What is the condition of mankind? The difference between one person and the next is only in the recognition of evil. A more developed person recognizes in himself a greater amount of evil, and hence repels and separates the evil from within. The underdeveloped senses in himself only a small amount of evil, and will therefore repel only a small amount of evil. As a result, he leaves all his filth within, for he does not recognize it as filth. Can this be one of the reasons for a person turning to religion? The other reason is because a person begins to see how far away he or she is from being like the Creator. Religion aims at one thing: to raise man above the filth of the narrow self-love and bring him to the height of love of others. It promises the well-being of the individual who follows it. Evil, in general, is self-love and only wanting to receive for itself. It is opposite in form from the Creator, who has not any way or any desire to receive for himself, but only to bestow, to give. Look at the stages of love from one person to another, and that too evolves gradually. First, develops love and desire to bestow upon one's family and kin, as the verse says, "Thou hide not thyself from thy own flesh." When further developing, one attribute of bestower expands to all the people around him, being one's town people or one's nation. And so one adds until he finally develops love for the whole of humanity. I will bring this video to a close, but I will pick up with the next video with more information on the topic of Kabbalah. And ending this video, please feel free to share it with others. And if you would like to see more of this type of content, please click the subscribe button below on this channel. I would also love for you to post your comments and questions below. Just be respectful to one another. Until next time, I will provide you with more information and go deeper into the knowledge of Kabbalah. Thank you.